Aspettiamoci un grandissimo spettacolo. Un applauso ragazzi, incoraggiamoli!
This is going to be a great fight. A veteran of Lutador de Elite in Luca Tarabori and a young up-and-coming debutant in Johann Devecchi. This is definitely going to be a great fight. Right. And also, can I just point out, I like how Devecchi seems to be at ease in the cage, despite it being his first professional MMA fight.
Yeah, both of them are cool, calm, collected, and extraordinarily professional here. Really excited for this fight. 4-ounce gloves, absolutely no joke. Bare shins, no joke. This is real.
And keep in mind, for Johann Devecchi, this is the first time he ever feels a naked shin land on his opponent, and possibly a naked shin landing on him. So this is going to be a make or break moment for him.
Good test. There it is. And there it is again. I love that he's setting this up with his hands. I love that. Tarabori doing a fantastic job here. He's got a presence, hasn't he? If you look at the stance of Tarabori, he's just got an intimidating presence. And controlling that center perfectly.
Yeah, I agree, and he looks big. He looks bigger than Devecchi.
Oi, big overhand right. That could have hurt his opponent. He must have sensed something there because he tried to swarm.
Yeah, I feel like he probably sensed Devecchi wobbling and felt like it was time to go in.
For anybody at home, when you land a really clear punch, and a clean punch at that, if you land a clean punch, you get the feedback on your knuckles. You know that you've done something special here because it doesn't feel like other punches. You get a feedback in your fist.
It's hard to describe, but I always say that you feel the knuckle pierce the glove when you land a good shot.
We have our first grappling exchange. We have a body lock from Tarabori.
Yeah, I have to say, I've actually been sparring with Devecchi. I'm gonna fold my hand, and he's very strong on defense. So, but being a completely new and a completely fresh MMA fighter, Tarabori might not know about it, and honestly, he might not care. He just got a tremendous takedown.
Yeah, that sacrifice throw is incredibly difficult to stop, but you really have to commit to it. So, fantastic job.
Commit he did.
Yeah, and you know, Tarabori gave a phenomenal scramble there. He had a real chance of having his back taken, and he did everything right to make sure that he's facing his opponent and able to use his arms and legs to work himself back up to his feet, which we see him doing right this very second. Ooh, a good transition. Yeah, very, very good work to get back up to his feet. Very, very good work. You could see that Devecchi was waiting for that turn to try and find the back, and that's twice that he's tried to find the back. And here's Devecchi taking top position with that cage wrestling prowess that you talked about.
Yeah, he's extremely quick at transitioning from one position to another, and we see it there. He kept the whizzer, he kept the overhook, and he just pushed with the overhook and got a half guard. Now Tarabori recovered half a butterfly hook, a left butterfly hook.
What do you think the biggest problems that Devecchi can give Tarabori after training with him for a bit?
I think he's got a very strong low kick and a very strong right hand, and he almost has a looping right hand. He seems to be throwing across, but then it's an overhand or a right hook, and that's a very sneaky trajectory. It could give troubles to Tarabori. Plus, he's very good on defense, and he's very heavy when he's pressuring. This is a position where I think Tarabori is not going to want to be when the round comes to an end, if it comes to an end.
And pro rounds, of course, are a full 5 minutes long. 5 minutes, 3 times through.
You can hear the voice of Devecchi's corner just imposing over the arena, calling for ground and pound to the body and to the head.
Yeah, it's good advice. It's good advice. Sometimes clear, consistent cornering can really make all the difference in the fight. You know, having... Oh, we've got a little break in play, maybe a clash of heads.
I don't know what caused the stop there, but the fight is on. I think it was a clash of heads, maybe. Yeah, you got it right.
It's always easy to do. Good head position is your head on your opponent's head. And obviously your opponent can move their head. The head clash is often a little bit of an inevitability when controlling, so it's just the nature of the beast a little bit. I've actually, in sparring, I've accidentally broken people's noses by having my head in the right position and having them sit up into me. It's a bit of a strange position. Nice elbow from the bottom, a back elbow. You don't really see that very often.
Yeah, Tarabori seems like a guy who's dangerous from everywhere. He might be dangerous from this position, we just might not know. At the end of the day, in any MMA fight, you're one elbow away from being cut, so even striking from the bottom would be a good solution. He has a very strong guillotine, and that seems to be deep.
Seems to be really deep. Oh, nice defense to put his back on the mat, but he's come back up into it. Maybe it would have been worth staying back down. Look at that. He didn't risk for a Von Flue choke. It's a risk for a Von Flue choke.
What a scramble by these two guys.
Go out here. He really could go out. I hope the referee knows to be able to check his hand if he has. Nice reversal. How strong is Devecchi? Unbelievable. That submission was sunk so deep. And he survives into the next round. You know he's not going to be clinging to a guillotine in the next round if he gets it.
Tarabori just seems unbothered by anything that just happened. You can see Devecchi being tired. Nice of him to help the opponent up. You can see Devecchi being tired on his face by the last guillotine attempt. Tarabori completely unbothered. Locks of any type are difficult to deal with an opponent like that, but Tarabori was fine.
It was encouraging to see him work his way back up to his feet after being stifled on the ground for a very short period. So we have ourselves a fight, ladies and gentlemen, and we're in round 2.
That's what you want to see from a debuting fighter.
I've said it before all the way through the cards, but props to Lutador de Elite for their matching. They've done a fantastic job when it comes to these guys and their career. You know, it could really go either way in almost all of these fights. Bit of redness above the left eye of Devecchi. Don't know if he's cut or if he's just taken a little shot, but Tarabori seems to be landing these looping shots a little bit more. Maybe hurt his foot with that kick there, shaking it out.
I like how Devecchi's corner is encouraging him to attack.
Big shots.
Big shot
just
by
gaining confidence.
Big shot by Tarabori.
Is that a slip or a drop?
I think it was a slip, but you never know. That might have been a drop. That might have been even an unintentional hit on Tarabori's temple.
Yeah. So he's got an overhook. I actually prefer to try and hand fight rather than just over. Overhook's very, very useful, don't get me wrong. It looks like he's going to try and set up a triangle here rather than necessarily try and stand back up. Which, you know, you'd want to see Tarabori trying to work back to the feet because he's having so much success there. Obviously, he fell down, but he really seemed to be swarming Devecchi, who kept his composure and looking like he's a veteran of the game, finding ways to win even though it's just his debut.
Yeah, again, Devecchi is another one of those fighters who has an extended amateur experience, and that might come in handy in a matchup like this where you're facing a more experienced opponent.
See it again, it's so hard to get your leg in when you've got control of their head like that. You need space to be able to get your head in, and unfortunately space means ground and pound. Tarabori managed to work himself back up. We can see how wrestling seems to be the answer versus Devecchi rather than submissions. He was trying to use the overhook to set something up, starts to wrestle, has success. He should learn from that.
Nice attempted takedown by Tarabori. Devecchi almost collapsed under him and then works his way up to a single leg. Nice reverse by Devecchi.
I'm going to be using this fight as tape study for my fighters because I talk to them constantly like, don't take the back, just continue to wrestle. Because if you try and take the back, and Tabori's like, he'll be kicking himself because Tarabori has literally lost position 3 times in 2 rounds by trying to advance too quickly to take the back. If you're going to take the back of a fighter, you should do it while they're grounded, not when their hips are in the air.
Devecchi just landed a heavy elbow on Tarabori's forehead. I'm surprised he didn't get caught.
Yeah, sometimes the elbows that don't cut you reveal that they're a little bit more concussively impactful because an elbow that slips cuts, an elbow that lands heavy concusses. So it's a difficult one. I don't know whether I'd rather be concussed or cut in a fight.
That's perfectly put. That's perfectly put.
Vai Luca, continua con quel lavoro lì.
C'è incontro, ok?
Ora della merda.
Non farlo alzare.
It's a dogfight, isn't it?
Yes, this is a extremely good work by Devecchi, not allowing Tarabori back on his feet. And I'm surprised that Tarabori was willing to lose the position so easily to try and attack the back when, after losing a position, he seems to be stuck on the bottom.
You'd think that, like, actually, after happening a couple of times, you know, and this being the outcome, he was getting absolutely pagged from bottom, you know, like, maybe he would be less inclined to do so, but what you actually tend to find is when fighters are in reptile mode, it's like the fighter losing, keeping his left hand down, is that they do what they know, you know, and in sparring, especially if you're as strong as Tarabori looks, I bet he gets the back all the time off that.
I agree.
You know, and that's sometimes a false positive that can cost you in fights when you fight people of such quality as Devecchi.
I agree. I completely agree with that. That's why you should always focus on what works and not what works for you, as we were talking about before.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of that idea of who's level 100 at this wins, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We have another we have actually a fucking flu choke on the opposite way round. Like, this
Second
is
attempt at a
the
Von
exact same thing happening.
And second reversal off of the Von Flu choke. The roles are reversed this time. And Devecchi seems to be stuck on bottom with Tarabori hitting him with heavy elbows.
Don't go for the back. He goes for the back and he loses again.
This is the same story happening all over again.
And he gets wrestled as a result.
I swear if Devecchi goes for a Von Flu choke again.
Tarabori clearly is having success when he wrestles. Devecchi punishing him when that wrestling tries to turn into jiu-jitsu.
This is a dogfight, ladies and gentlemen.
Both men slow to their feet. Tarabori dropping his gum shield, can barely pick it up. He's got a full minute to recover, and then he's got to do the last 5. As cliche as it sounds, he just who wants it more, because both of these guys have put 10 hard minutes of work. I want you guys to just think about what jogging for 10 minutes or sprinting for 10 minutes could feel like, and then understand that there's somebody punching you in the stomach while that's happening.
Nice show of respect by both guys, and I couldn't agree more with what you said.
It's instantly into the body lock. Lovely trick. Phenomenal balance. That's cool to watch. There's some ninja moves.
Heavy hips by Devecchi. That's what saved him. Very calm and very collected.
This is how you win a fight. If you find that you're getting tagged on the feet, you're getting swarmed on the feet, you change the art. It's mixed martial arts. It's not kickboxing. It's not jiu-jitsu. It's not wrestling. It is whoever can use their combat sports experience the best. And I'd say the ground, I think you might agree here, like the ground is probably where you have the highest chance of doing the most damage and taking the least damage.
Absolutely, absolutely. You might not be able to do the same amount of damage that you can do standing up, but you certainly do not take the same amount of damage as you do standing up. So it's a trade I take. My God, that was an elbow. That was from the bleachers. Devecchi screamed as he was throwing the elbow.
That's the type of elbow that your grandkids feel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the concussive elbow that we were talking about before.
Absolutely.
Very animated corner by Devecchi, contrasting his fighter who looks completely calm and in control of the situation.
They are not here to lose, they are here to win. Our ankle control. He must switch back to the hips, and he does so. Brilliant. Exactly.
Nice technique.
Phenomenal work. Now, as long as he doesn't just jump for the back, and you'll notice Devecchi, if he's learned from what's happened in this, obviously Tarabori is the one jumping for the back, but Devecchi doesn't make the same mistake. He holds position. You notice that Devecchi's not trying to climb over. Devecchi's in position, maintaining position, and keeping the pressure. And look, he's rewarded with top positions.
I like the fact that he held on to Tarabori's left arm, and he didn't try to hit him right away. And Tarabori now seems to be cut under his left eye socket, on his left eye cheek.
You never want to be cut anywhere, but if you're going to be cut somewhere, the cheek's a great place to be cut because it doesn't bleed into your eyes. You know, he's going to keep his vision here, so cut on the cheek, it's not a pleasant experience, and he might have some scar tissue there afterwards, some stitches, but it's not going to affect his performance here.
I can't lie, I'm having a hard time hearing you because Devecchi's corner is going over your voice, and we're in a cabinet, we're in a commenting booth. So I can only imagine what it feels like from the outside.
Also, for anybody, I mean, I hope you've never had to experience this, but getting cut feels totally different to getting punched. Getting cut is a hot, burning sensation as your sweat gets into your cut, and your nerve endings experience that sweat. And it can really change people's mentality sometimes because you feel that you're cut, it feels different, and you know that you're damaged. You know, and there's a self-preservation that every human being has to not take any more damage, and sometimes that can change fighters.
One of the most cruel and raw things I ever heard a fighter say was John Jones saying, "You'd be surprised how many fighters haven't had a taste of their own blood." So he said, take your opponent to the ground and cut them. Many matches are won with cuts. That was John Jones, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and he caused a fair amount of cuts in his career.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did.
That's just what we talked about before, is tools for purpose. And Devecchi's using the wrestling as a tool for the purpose, to stop Tarabori having the ability to be dynamic with his strikes. Devecchi is now past the guard, and beforehand he was having to try and strike over the legs of Tarabori. Now that he's around, he's got clear access to the head and to the body, and if he decides to progress, you know, then he can actually start to use a lot more. And I think it's interesting he didn't take mount there because I think he's worried about the wrestling of Tarabori. You know, and actually he can maintain or try and maintain top position if. Ooh, interesting. Is this an anaconda? Oh, it's a mistake. It's a mistake with that sweaty.
That was an anaconda attempt that turned into a mistake, and now he gave up his back, but he escapes. Can we just praise the conditioning of these two guys just wrestling their heart out, grappling, scrambling, just putting everything on the line.
Tarabori would do well for the next 6 months of his career to never take the back. Just do 6 months of not taking the back because it's really costing this fight.
Exactly, I agree. That's a takedown. That's a triangle attempt.
He still wants it. He still wants it. Oh,
incredible fight
on that fight with that left hand. Great work, and you can see what it means to Devecchi. He's been through the fire. He's put 15 minutes of solid hard work against a fantastic opponent.
That's beautiful to see. That's very beautiful to see. Both of them fought their heart out, and that's just beautiful to see.
Tarabori with the Titanic pose.
Beautiful show of respect by the two of them. Great fight.
You know something. You connect with a human being different after sharing the cage with them.
Yeah, that's a very intimate experience. That's the best way to define it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
È difficilissimo da pronunciare.
This moment is for Devecchi. And look at that. They embrace in the middle of the cage. A very hard for both those guys. Are going to be very sore tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely sore.
Yeah, once the adrenaline wears off, all of a sudden, you realize that someone's hit you with a baseball bat about 40 times.